Hi there, I'm Jake from I'm Free Tours here in Sydney. Now, usually we run walking tours around the centre of Sydney and Melbourne every day, but unfortunately we can't be doing that right now, so instead we're making little videos about the history of some of our favourite local suburbs. And today I'm going to be taking you around Newtown. Newtown is a suburb just outside the centre of the city, known for its Bohemian or hipster style. Newtown is chock full of vintage and independent boutiques, live music venues, street art, and cuisine from all around the world. Newtown certainly is a cultural hub here in Sydney. This suburb is built on land belonging to the Gadigal people of the mighty Eora Nation, the indigenous group living in the Sydney region for over 50,000 years. It's believed that King Street, the main thoroughfare through Newtown, follows an Aboriginal track from the grasslands in the west through to the coastal plains and fishing areas around Botany Bay. In fact, many of Sydney's streets follow ancient Aboriginal tracks. Since colonisation, Indigenous people have continued to live in the area. Newtown and close by Redfern are known for their Indigenous art and activism, but they've been home to Indigenous people long before they've been known by their colonial names. During early colonisation, the area was primarily used for farming and residential purposes. Its name is thought to have originated from a local shop, John Webster's Newtown store. Today, on the original site of this store, stands the iconic Webster's Bar and Rooftop, paying homage to its origins. In 1855, the first passenger railway line opens, connecting Sydney to Parramatta, and Newtown was only one of 4 stops along this line. Nowadays, Newtown Station is actually heritage listed, and it connects the city circle with the suburbs of the inner west. King Street is often aptly referred to as the spine or backbone of Newtown. Officially named King Street in 1877, this well-known retail strip began development in the 1880s. Over time, it's become one of Sydney's most well-known suburban shopping streets and a popular place to wine and dine. This corner between King Street and Newman Street held regular markets from the 1880s right through to the 1950s. Made official in 1906, these markets sold everything from fresh produce to furniture and clothing. In 2020, this market tradition continues, only just across the streets in the heart of Newtown. In 1848, Camperdown Cemetery was established. This was the Church of England's main burial ground until 1867 when it moved out to Rookwood Cemetery. In those 18 years, up to 18,000 people were buried here, including a number of Aboriginal people, although many of those were in unmarked graves. St Stephen's Church, this beautiful Gothic revival building, was first opened in 1874. After years of neglect, this area was converted into a public park in 1951. And as you can see, Camperdown Memorial Park is quite a nice, tranquil green space amongst the hustle and bustle of Newtown, and it's a popular location for locals to gather for picnics and exercise. Newtown is known for its street art. With a wide range of styles and methods, you can find artwork in basically every corner of this suburb. In 2014, the Inner West Council launched a new graffiti prevention program called Perfect Match. The aim of the program was to bring the community together through public art. Residents, businesses, and property owners nominate their wall as a canvas. Artists submit designs, and then the council plays Cupid, pairing up art seekers with art makers to find their perfect match. Now, rather than being covered in graffiti, the streets are filled with commissioned art pieces, all paid for by the council. One artwork to come out of this program is Ox King's Promise. It tells the story of the bride-to-be, Eliza Donathorne, a prominent socialite living here in Newtown over 100 years ago. The story goes that she was jilted at the altar of St Stephen's Church, just across the road. She led the rest of her life as a recluse, dying in her chair surrounded by her unopened wedding gifts. Eliza is said to have inspired the eccentric female character Miss Havisham of Charles Dickens' novel Great Expectations. Ox King's original intention was to paint a bride, because the couple in this house were due to get married shortly after his commission. However, after hearing the story of Eliza, he tied the two stories together, creating a new, happier ending. Newtown's reputation as a cultural hub stretches right back to 1889, with the opening of the Newtown Trocadero. This was a popular hangout spot in the late 1800s, full of hairdressing salons, cafes, billiard tables, and the city's most ornate roller skating rink. Henry Lawson even lived in Newtown in the 1890s after marrying his Newtown fiancée, Bertha Brett. During the second half of the 20th century, Newtown experienced an influx of migrants, primarily from European countries, making it a rather working-class area. During this time, it also became a safe and well-known meeting place for Sydney's LGBT+ community, a strong tie that's endured to this day. In the early 1970s, the band AC/DC met, formed, and rehearsed here. Since the early 2000s, Newtown's demographics have changed once again due to gentrification. The popularity of alternative music, art, and fashion, as well as the introduction of independent retailers, bars, and cafes, has made Newtown what we know it as today. The nearby Sydney University makes it popular amongst students. Newtown is a suburb that just keeps thriving and fighting for its culture, which can be very much seen in its street art commentary. Fintan McGee's Housing Bubble, here on the side of the Urban Hotel, makes comment to the 2017 Avocado on Toast debate, where young hipsters were encouraged to stop going to cafes and save money to buy property instead. This was not very well received by Newtowners, who feel they're being pushed out by property developers and extremely high housing prices. It literally depicts the housing bubble, holding a Newtown terrace house just out of reach of the local residents. It's also an insight into the local residents' passion to protect their street art. You may notice the painting's a little patched up at the bottom, and that's due to an advertisement that tried to cover the art. Whilst a large poster was being placed over the artwork, residents quickly called the council, who stopped the advertisement for completely ruining the artwork. But what's Newtown without its food and bars? Everyone knows Newtown's a place to go for great Thai and vegetarian food, but there is a whole range of restaurants on offer here, from burgers at Mary's, to fresh pasta at the Italian Bowl, to the fantastic falafel at Cairo Takeout. There are so many local and independent restaurants to choose from. Sounds pretty, if you ask me. Thank you so much for coming along on the tour today through Newtown. While we can't be touring you through the centre of Sydney, the Rocks, or Melbourne, we hope you're enjoying these videos about our local neighbourhoods. For more information about our tours, head to our website, imfree.com.au, or check out our Instagram mentioned below. Until next time, I'm going to go street art spotting.